We are at the City Art Centre. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit why we're here and why we're standing in front of these two paintings.
Yeah, this is an exhibition about juxtapositions. I've come here, been downstairs and looked at all the collection, and I've looked for connections between pictures which are visual. Some of them are intellectual or witty, but mainly it's the connections between paintings. And I'm very interested in Joan Eardley. I've always loved her landscapes, principally because she's born in 1921 in England and comes to Scotland as a teenager and dies young at the age of 42. So she dies in 1963, and it's a very interesting time because what is she? She's sort of 10 or 15 years older than, say, David Hockney, who's influenced by Dubuffet and paints Doll Boy and those paintings, which were quite abstract, because he's been influenced by abstract expressionism as well as French painting. And Eardley's been to Paris, been to Italy, filled up these fantastic sketchbooks with wonderful illustrations, topographical things, and transcriptions of other paintings. And she's also been to Italy and done the continental thing. But she also must have been conscious of that great ferment of abstract expressionism happening throughout the 50s. She must be aware of Pollock, who first showed in the UK in 1958 at the Whitechapel Art Gallery, which is a stone's throw from my house in London, in fact. So when I look at, as a kind of English Scotsman, if you like, because I did it the other way around, I was born here and then went to England as a teenager in the 1960s. When I look at these fabulous landscapes by Eardley, I see all of those things that you pick up. You know, I see the abstract expressionists, I see Dubuffet, I see Paris and modernism, and painterly painting, lyrical abstraction, mulched up in these fantastic paintings. I mean, even though I'm a Glaswegian, I'm much more excited by Eardley's landscape paintings, in fact, than the figurative ones. And this picture of mine is a garden on Jura. So this is looking west towards Paisley, basically, where I was born. And I haven't really been thinking of Joan Eardley as I painted this. Just as in the rest of the exhibition, I've not been thinking of any of the artists that I've juxtaposed the works with. These are coincidences, in fact. So for me, this is slightly more abstract and painterly, and links in, I think, to, yes, it's a Scottish coastline. There's a lot of moisture in the blue sky. There's a lot of action in the foreground. And beyond that, there's no plan. It's just a surprising connection between artists of different generation. You know, ostensibly, I suppose, Eardley is English, so even different nationalities, although she's known as a Scottish artist and is appropriated by the Scottish art world because all her mature work is done here, and her mother, of course, is Scottish. So we share that funny thing of having a foot in both camps. Okay, so this is an exhibition of juxtapositions. We have two floors here at the City Art Centre, which is a gallery I've always loved, actually, because of what it isn't. It's not cool, it's not trying to be cutting edge, it's simply a repository of the unfolding story of Scottish art, from way back to up to the minute. And it's a gallery you can contemplate things in. You can actually come here and you don't need the, what do you call them, storyboards and instructions. It's always a revelation. There's always something to learn here. And what I always wanted to do was I was influenced by two exhibitions, principally, of juxtapositions. One is I can't remember the date, but it was an exhibition by Michael Craig Martin at the Whitechapel Gallery again, an important gallery, and it was of drawings. And he had got old master drawings next to, I don't know, Sol LeWitt or something. I can't remember the juxtapositions, but the point of the exhibition was a visual connection. The other exhibition, which I'm not claiming an original idea here, you see, it was called Turner and the Masters, which was held at Tate Britain. And this was a show where Turner would compare himself to Van Dyck, to Rembrandt. He was a great artist and hugely important artist, not just for British art, but for modernism generally, and painting, of course. So it was a very exciting, this pugnacious landscape painter placing himself against the great art of the past. So something kind of must have fermented in my head, which was the idea that I would love to go to the City Arts Centre and get paintings that I don't know anything about, and photographs, and find connections between them. So I'm kind of influenced by these two previous exhibitions here, and it's not just me and Joan Eardley. You know, there are two Eardleys in this exhibition, but there are paintings by Scougal, by John Bellany, by Caleb Innes, by anonymous artists from all periods. I was 70 years old in September. We've been planning a series of exhibitions through the Scottish Gallery and also with Grey Gallery, which is hosted by myself and my wife in London, to celebrate, 43 years or something of chugging away in the studio. So the first of these exhibitions was to be at the Lowry in Salford, because L.S. Lowry is one of my heroes, and that exhibition has been postponed because the Lowry is closed because of COVID-19. So that's postponed, and that now will be the last in this series of exhibitions. Another exhibition at the Festival of 220 at the Scottish Gallery was cancelled for the same reason. We have reconfigured this series of exhibitions, so now the City Arts Centre is the first of these. The next one in the three planned exhibitions is at the Royal Academy in London, which opens in February and runs through till June, February to June. The third of these will be at the Edinburgh Festival at the Dovecot Studios here in Edinburgh again, and to date to be announced at the Lowry. So it's been a busy time, and this exhibition is the first of a series of shows, which is, I suppose, a retrospective overview of my career, because I think that artists are not prescriptive. They don't really know what kind of artist they are until they get kind of a bit of the way down the road, and then they can look back and see where they've been, and then they can't really deny what kind of artist they have turned out to be. And that's something I subscribe to, really. So this is a revelation to me, as will be the other exhibitions which are coming up.